Ladies and gentlemen, to the Elite Series League of Legends Division 2. On my side, still the wonderful bearded QG. It is just so satisfying. Look at this man's beard. And we've seen a first game between Aoma Esports and Pertinix. And it was a dope one, in my opinion. Like, it was close, it was fast-paced, it was a lot of fighting, and I'm excited for the second game, and we are going to take a quick look at the schedule so we know what that game will be. And it will, of course, be Adverse versus Reapers Gaming. Later on, we will also see Wiftslovs versus Aurora and Dynasty against Once Upon a Team. And for this game, Adverse versus Reapers Gaming, Paul, what is your take? Who is going to take it home?
So both teams are pretty close to each other. I think Reapers is 2-4 and Adverse is 1-5.
Actually,
Reapers are 3-3. I'm sorry. I misread the standings. Reapers are behind the top 3 of the team with Pertinax, so I think they will take it away. The Italian organization with their Benelux players are going to take this one. So Karma is not so good anymore because of the Radiant Virtue nerf. So Lawlor's Karma is not the best thing to pick up right now. They took it a lot before. There's the Maokai and Akali ban. We still want to see some new junglers against the Maokai. Yone is also gone. And what do we have? Again, Caitlyn is still open. Ashe, that's the Karma ban. I think it's good to be safe. Better safe than sorry, you know. But in my opinion, Karma is not that strong anymore. The Enchanters got hit pretty hard with the loss of the ability haste from the Radiant's Virtue, and there's Darius also banned from Reapers against Adverse. And what
we are seeing a bit of a few new bans here, like the Yone ban. We haven't seen Darius. Now we see Jarvan for the jungle.
Yeah, Jarvan got buffed. His buffs are kind of interesting. I think it's this patch. Yeah, it's this patch. The sheet got a bonus AD ratio. The activation is not as long as before, but it's stronger. And I think the cooldown went down. And there we have the Wukong against Jarvan, and Zeri is probably going to be set up with a Lu or a Yuumi, so that will be interesting what Edward is going to do here. What will the answer to from the Reapers? The Tristana, maybe Tristana Ashe again. Skate pretty good, also has the pretty strong.
Could be, however, I would really love to see maybe a Nautilus and those a bit more aggressive like bot laners, especially together with a Jarvan. You could have like a really crazy early combo for the bot lane there.
Also, you need a click to point stun against the Zeri because she's pretty hard to lock up with skill shot because of the movement speed and such. And there you see the Zillion to speed the Zeri up so she can be she can cosplay Sonic maybe in this game.
So basically, I think they've already countered the Ashe now, because Wukong has a very nice counter against an Ashe arrow. Zeri, Zilean, or Zilean and Zeri, work very well against Ashe as well. So I think Ashe isn't the support pick to go here. I think it's more of a like straightforward
I think
CC
Adverse.
applying champion.
I think Adverse has to ban the Nautilus here, because it's really hard for Zeri, Zilean to get away from the Nautilus because of the ult and the Q, the dredge line, and it just point and click, and Zeri is going to be knocked up. So what you're going to go do against it? Nothing. You're gonna get comboed by Syndra and Tristana here, but they want to have a safer lane on top side, so they go for the Renekton. And Silas is also out. Could also steal some good ults. Tristana ult burst pretty hard. Another Jarnot would also be good. Also Silas is one of the strongest champion, and there you have the Rise. So we will be seeing something different. An AP would be good, and no, we see a Kassadin. No.
Ooh, Echo. I haven't seen an Echo in ages. I love Echo. Please pick Echo. That would be amazing. I love the way Echo is played, like with this very weird to apply stun and
Oh, it's Jax.
It's a boring Jax.
Yeah, it's the better top laner right now. So why shouldn't you pick a?
Yeah, no, definitely.
And then you. What you did here is you could have picked mid lane, but they probably didn't know what to pick, because now you can't counter pick. The adverse red pick side is, in my opinion, not that great. You showed the Jax, you showed Zilean. Maybe they say, okay, Zilean is a flex pick here. Maybe we send him mid lane or bot. Then the draft is a bit different, but it looks like in Azir they could have probably picked the Azir before the Jax to enhance their red side counter pick probability. Now they just wanted to be sure what they had, and we have a Zilean Zeri against an Rakan Tristana, and a pretty beefy front line for the Tristana and the Syndra, with the Sion, the Jarvan, and also pretty catch heavy, I would say. Also a good engage from Adverse here, with the Wukong getting sped up by Zilean, and also the Shurima shuffle if done right.
But so has Reapers. Like I feel like when this team comp hits their engage well, you are lost. You have the Rakan, you have the Jarvan, you have the Sign Ultimate plus Q. Wow, this can be huge. Like when Reapers hits their engage well, this can be a CC chain of like at least 5 seconds.
Yeah, but then you just hit Zilean ult, and it doesn't matter. You can get out. You see.
Yeah, of course. I think in general, Adverse has a lot of counterplay potential there. They have the Asi ultimate, they have the Zilean ultimate, as you said. They have speed buffs. They have in general a very mobile AD carry. So they have all the potential to get out of these situations as well. And I think because of that, we are set up for a pretty interesting game here between Adverse and Reapers.
Yeah, the team fight comp looks good. There's more damage on the Adverse side than on the Reaper side. Reapers only have 2 damage dealers, whereas Adverse has 4. So it's double the damage, but half the tankiness.
I feel like
and the CC is also worse on Adverse side. So the burst of Syndra is better if you have some CC. So if you can lock one up, you can probably kill everybody. Tristana gets resets, AoE, But I still think, in my opinion, Reapers lack damage here in some fights if they don't get ahead. Maybe I'm
You think
wrong
so?
later
Because
on.
I think, of course, you have with Tristana and Syndra, you have two very clear damage dealers. But Cyan and Jarvan don't. I want to do double negation. They deal damage as well. Like, and especially I think together they make up for at least one Wukong in terms of damage. So
Yeah, but if you, as Wukong has armor penetration in his kit, and probably there is no healing, so he will go for Black Cleaver and Divine Sunderer. That's max health, healing, and armor reduction. So Zeri has an easier time, and because they have a lot of AD damage, as they probably won't build or magic resist, so Azir has the upper hand, and the Shurima Shuffle could hit hard. I think it depends on the early game,
yeah,
how it will pan out, what will happen exactly. Because if a team with Zillion is ahead, they can just steamroll easier because they're faster and catch you. If you're behind, you can ult someone to save their butt.
yeah. I feel like the Adros comp is a little bit more forgiving. Although the Reapers comp is also very straightforward. I think both comps are pretty straightforward and forgiving here. But I think, as you said, a lot of comes down to the early game, and if Reapers can get the Tristana ahead, because if they do, I think they're in a very good position. And on the other hand, Adverse has maybe a little bit more scaling on their side, at least damage-wise, with the Azir, the Zeri, the Wukong, and the Jax. So basically 4 people who scale it very well, and then you have Zillion there to keep them alive.
Yeah, and there was a level 2 gank from Trinket, who got the flash out of Nemo. We have level 2 engage from Jax, flash from Wind.
Yeah, maybe a bit of an overreaction there, the flash, but better safe than sorry. In the mid lane, Lolo gets attacked and has to use his flash as well, as Licky is kind of copying Trinket with the early ganks here, which is a bit unusual for Wukong. Most of the time you want to get 6 first, but of course, in the mid lane here, it worked pretty good.
Yeah, Syndra doesn't have a dash or anything, so she has to walk away or E. And if you use E, you can go in as a Wukong and do some damage with the red buff. And yeah, what do we have? Jarvan is doing... yeah, so Leaky did the Jarvan's blue and Trinket did Leaky's blue. So they traded sides. And here we have the engage because they know that Jarvan is bot side.
Ooh, a lot of damage
here.
already out there. Nemo has to pay attention, but the adverse bot lane doesn't have a long way to their tower, so they are safe for now. But as you said, Jarvan is on the bot side, and might they be looking for an early dive here already? Jarvan attending the Scuttle Crab for now.
Yeah, but Jarvan has the... Jarvan.
And then we have Licky on the top side, the attack wind there. A lot of damage coming out, good positioning there from Licky, and this will be first blood for the team of Adverse going to the top lane.
Yeah, forcing the flash of the Sion early on was pretty good now, because he's so immobile and also still a bit squishier than in the late game. He can be slapped down or punched down with the fake weapon. Of Jax. Maybe there's a return gang because there's a big wave coming. Yeah, and I think he's dead again. Because he still doesn't have flash. No.
Yeah, this is not looking good. Another kill, and Adverse really focusing on that top lane there. Getting their Jax well ahead now.
Yeah, the lane was frozen in front of Furo's tower, but we see
Ooh,
it
Weep is
engaged.
now with the engage here. They really want to know. Edwards getting not as much damage as Weepus was probably hoping for, but they still show that they have the dominant champions here.
Yeah, with Hail of Blades, Tristana in the early game, you just hit like a truck. You do your E, boom, 3 auto attacks, and the thing explodes. Jarvan Trinket takes the Hextech Soul here. Hextech, so the Hextech Dragon, sorry. And next one will be Cloud Dragon.
Yeah, also clearing out all the wards there now. I think they were looking maybe to go for dive there on the bot lane. I feel they're a bit too resistant
Oh,
there. Lolo
sure.
now in a bad
No
position as
mana.
Licky is coming in. And on the bot lane we see some action as well.
the
Oh,
stun.
nice double stun there from the Zillion. This might be an opening for Edwards as they deal a lot of damage to MJ. There's the
Exhaust is
ignite on
out.
Nimu, who has to retreat. No kill happening in the end. But a very nice trade-off by both teams.
There was the flash and exhaust from Real MJ for the damage reduction. Jax is 6. So
Yeah.
Wind is actually ahead of how you call it, experience. Oh, and then we have
Ooh, now again
Salmon
the NHL on the bot lane, and this will be the kill.
Flash, yes.
And it goes to Trinket.
Yeah, pretty greedy from Salmon to stay here. Could have walked to the wall and just E over to be safe. But I think he didn't think it was far enough.
Yeah. And I feel like this kind of suited the game plan of Reapers, but it also didn't because they want to get the Tristana ahead, and the Tristana wasn't involved in the kill. But at least Tristana has some time on the lane now without the enemy AD carry where she can probably farm.
Yeah, Tristana is pushing anyway, so it plays into the heart, to the hand of Adverse. And
Definitely a bit of a lower pacing we see here compared to the last game. But I guess that makes sense as both teams definitely have a teamfight composition. I can't get rid of the feeling that Reapers should be a little bit more active around the spot lane.
yeah, but it's hard if your top lane is that far up. You have to.
Yeah, you
there's
also
the
have to
fight
take
from
care of Wind a
Trinket.
little bit here. Now the fight at the Rift Herald, Trinket very low, goes down, and now Wind is coming in, flashing over, wonderfully played by Razor. And now they try to get ahead of there. Wind is flashing behind, to gets the kill there, and now it is Emiel coming in to save the day for his team. Will they get out? Furus is on the one. Nice stun. Wind tries to get another Q out. And will they get the kill there? They do. Okay, nice return kills for Reapers. And in the meantime, Tristana just gets dived on the bot lane, 2v1. What a back and forth.
Yeah, very well. The rotation of Emil was very well played. He was on the rotation on the mid lane, and then he was just there to help his teammates out, and he got some double knockups, so he could do good damage and just get the kills. He also, I think one of them got the Jax shutdown. I didn't remember who it was, but I hope it was not. It was Emil who got the Jax, so the gold goes to him. Can buy his Shurilias earlier. I also like the Radiance Virtue Rakan, but it's nerfed, so I don't know if it's worth it anymore, but I still like it. A bit more tanky when you use the ult. But the Shurelya is pretty good too here for the kiting of adverse. Especially for Zeri and Zillion.
I think Lolo could have played this more aggressively. He did have an ult and Trinket was around now on the bot lane. Adverse, no, Weepers is engaging Nemo there and they will get him at least into the resurrect and that gives them time to take care of Xeman. But MJ disengaging the situation as we had a kill on the Azir in the river that we unfortunately missed.
Yeah, we can't see everything. They fought over Dragon.
Lola just stealing the crab. But won't get it in the end.
Damn, I will remember where you could W the Baron and just fly him into the red buff.
As Sindra? Did that work?
Yes, when she came out. And the Baron would stay on the dragon forever.
Was that intended or
I don't know. Bug? I don't know.
That it's can't be intended. Okay.
It's League of Legends, so what is intended and what is not intended? It's a feature. It's not a bug, by the way. But here,
of course, it is.
Nice flash.
Game still pretty evil there as Sign goes for an execute. Now, next objective could be Rift Herald. Wukong seems to go that way.
Yeah, there we have the...
Yeah, Jax will just be bullying Sign on the top lane now. Ooh, as nice you have an engage here on the mid lane, Asi is the first one to fall, looking good for Reapers there. Jarvan ultimate hitting perfectly, but Wukong with a lot of damage will get the Jarvan in return, so it's 2 for 1 here. And I think Reapers is happy to take this trade. Get a little bit further back into this game.
With his first item is pretty strong. Jarvan also has the God Drinker now. So that was the difference in that fight. And then we see real MJ West to take care of the TP is coming out from Cinder.
Yeah, Winskew does deal some damage, but it's not enough to hold up against this Jax.
That matchup also reminds me of a wet noodle fight, but Jax don't have a wet noodle, he has a lantern.
He has a big staff.
In that skin, he has a god staff. Maybe he has Doran staff, that one that Wukong has. Turret plating will soon fall. But I don't know.
I was looking for another bad joke, but let's stop this.
I think that skin is just broken because they shouldn't give Jax a weapon.
Ooh. Little engage there on the mid lane. Nothing happening though.
Do you know that in early League lore, Jax was banned from the game because he had a weapon, and they didn't allow him to have weapons, so they...
Ooh, engage on the mid lane, Sin ultimate, and that's the kill for Lolo. That's how fast it can go. One Rakan Q hitting well. Follow up by Sinwan. That's just this massive CC chain that Reapers can pull off. Very nicely played there as well. Trinket going in. A lot of CC and damage coming out from Reaper's side. Licky, of course, trying to use his ultimate as a counter to the Cataclysm there from Jarvan, but it doesn't work out for them in the end, and that's just how strong the Reaper's wombo combo can be. And they will get a Herald on top of that as we turn, but on the other side of the map, Zeri takes the tower in return.
And you see Jax and Wukong getting 2 kills there. or at least one.
Yeah, but I think it's safe to say that Reapers won this fight. We've also been able to gain a little bit of a small gold lead for the first time during this game. Real MJ going in there on the mid lane with a lot of damage already. Of course, has his Kraken Slayer ready now.
Yeah, Kraken Slayer and Halo Blade is pretty good. Get some fast procs.
Both teams rotating their bot lane to the mid lane now to have a better pressure on the entire map.
Yeah, and then we have Dragon coming again in 35 seconds. So Reapers are going to set that up.
Ooh, and
Atlas
Emil gets a bit caught there
fighting.
in the situation. Can he save himself with the ultimate? It does look like it. However, has to go back now, which puts Reapers a bit on the back foot for this upcoming Drake fight. Ooh.
Oh,
Lolo
field goal.
almost hitting the backing Jax there, who has to go back to meet the Sion on the top lane, who has been split pushing all this time. It shouldn't be an issue though. Once Jax arrives in the scene, I don't think Sion will have much to say anymore. With Herald now in the mid lane in order to win some time for Reapers, which is very well played in my opinion. Give Sion the time to come back in and join his team. Now Reapers is looking for this dragon. And Adverse, because the Jax is not with them anymore, of course, decide that this is simply not worth to go for. The takes of losing the fight and losing the game, therefore, would be too high, so they give up another dragon. And therefore the soul point to Reapers. Next one, they will either have to fight or give up soul.
Giving up soul is not always that good, especially when it's Inferno. So
Jax looking for the engage there. However, Reapers is meeting that. Real MJ in a bad position though. Gets caught out. Now the opening for Adverse with a nice Shurima shuffle. No. Unfortunately, everybody's flashing away. Reapers definitely still on the back foot. Will they get Trinket there? He is able to flash out last minute. And now the engage from Purpose. Nice double stun. They get Rakan. And they get the Syndra. 2 people left for Reapers. Very well played from Adverse. They really saw their opening there. And they took it well. And went not in a position to save this tower. Maybe he will pay for it with his life. Shutdown going to Zeri.
oh, but the Zeri is going to die here probably. Yeah, Trinket got it. Someone who stayed a bit too aggressive here.
Yeah,
And
nice
just got
catch from
punished for it.
Trinket. Making the situation a bit less bad for Reapers. And in general, still very equal, at least when we look at gold. Only 1k difference. And maybe we can have that also on an individual level. Regie, if you would love to give that to us. Thank you! There we have it. You can see big difference in jungle between Wukong and Jarvan for the West.
Yeah, 600 gold is not that much. It's more the AD carry side, that's almost 2k. And also mid lane on the side of. Oh, nice Shurima shuffle. Didn't buffer the Q, so he got knocked back.
Yeah, Wazer blocking the way there. For an engage from Reapers, who of course know that they are currently the stronger teamfight team, if they do their engage as well. But of course, if that backfires, like we saw in the last fight, Adverse knows how to take it.
And there you see the Black Cleaver for Jax, and also Wukong is going for the Black Cleaver. And this is just a He let me hit you with my staff. Gameplay for Jax. There was unfortunately no ult for the Shurima shuffle. But yeah.
A bit of poking there, and Edwards is once more able to save their mid lane tower, who has, I think, like 5 HP left, maybe? At least it's not visible anymore, the bar. So that will fall sooner or later. But Reapers has to live without that gold for now. That, of course, is the goal of Edwards, as they're setting up kind of a trap here. They know the bush is clear. Ever formerly known as Pinkwood. And now the engage. There's the ultimate from Jarvan. Asi is already going down. But so does Jarvan, and now Wind is in the backline there. So is Amiel. Will it be enough? Damage is not really there from Reapers. Now Zinra is coming in, gets the shutdown there on the Jax. Now the team fight will end with that. So it's a 2-for-1. Reapers can be happy with this trade, I guess, but I think they expect, or they should expect, more of these team fights. Especially if they spend all their resources for the engage.
Zeri doesn't have armor penetration now, and Sign is just too tanky with Jaksho. And with all the armor that he built. So if there's nobody who's going to reduce the armor of Sion, Zeri can kill him. But good kiting from someone here.
Ooh, and Edwards has to pay attention, because this will be soul if they don't do anything. So this will probably end up in another team fight. Wukong is coming in now. And there we have the Jax going directly on the Syndra. That's a good target to pick, but she does escape. There's immediately 2 kills, 3 kills for Reapers. They are taking down Edwards here. Wukong not able to do anything. This will be soul for the Reapers. And this was huge, like perfectly executed from Reapers. They were able to save their Syndra there. And with that, Edwards immediately started crumbling. They will also directly go to the Baron here. As death timers are still very long on the side of Edwards. And Razor alone will not be able to do much. He might even get picked out here. Probably with the mobility, he can save himself to the mid lane.
To catch Rakan, you have to CC him. There's so much mobility, 2 to 3 dashes. And then just the ult if you're not sure. You can also speed up a bit to get out. But yeah, the Sign is gonna be pretty tanky. Jarvan is going to start to be tanky, also going for the Frozen Heart. So Zeri can't do that much. And also a very good pick, because the whole combo of Adverse is around auto attacks. So he goes for the armor and the on hit. Siren is also going for the Frozen Heart. But yeah, he's tanky, my dude. Also with the Inferno Dragon you can clear your ways easier. You can poke better, you can do everything better.
Yeah. Big lead now with the Baron buff for the Reapers here. We'll probably get this tier 2 in the mid lane without a problem.
Yeah, and there's also
still able to push them back, but of course Reapers nicely spreading their split push there. They try to catch the Syndra now on the top lane.
And I
and
got
will
it.
probably get
Ooh.
Lolo there. Yeah, okay, there's the kill, the shutdown for Adverse. As in the mid lane, they get tier 1 and now the engage. Emil going in. They get tier 2 tower as well. In the meantime, now we have the Cataclysm. Licky tries to get the Jarvan there. They get the shutdown as well. Weepers giving up their people for towers here.
Yeah, towers are worth more than, or are better than kills. But they also lose a tower, or maybe 2 if they don't catch that wave.
Tristana is on the way, but will she be fast enough? And especially, can she do much alone? And that is the tower. And of course, some bonus gold for Adverse. Adverse definitely not out of this game. Like, yes, we have a 5k gold difference, but I feel like we're getting to a point where that's not that much anymore. Amiel gets caught here. Well played by Adverse. And that's yet another shutdown they will take here.
Yeah, Amiel, who wanted to look to stop the backs here, but he's too squishy to do that. Or maybe he didn't know that there were people in the bush. So he went for the typical face check.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the lead of Weepers has been crumbling really fast again. I mean, almost as fast as it was created. They had their Baron fight, which worked well. Or they had the Drake fight, then they got Soul, then they got Baron, which everything worked perfectly for them. But now Adverse is really there to take this opportunity, to take these catches, to like get a tower quickly in between. The calls are really on point there for Adverse, I feel like.
Yeah, Adverse can come back here, but it will be harder and harder. Tristana is going to scale pretty good, probably going for the Bloodthirster next. Also soon the Elder Dragon is coming up, so you want to get that too. Therefore you need to push out the waves, and if you get the Elder Dragon, you can also go for the Baron. So it pretty depends on the next team fight here in like 45 seconds. Because you have to attempt the Elder Dragon.
Yeah. Adverse taking their backs now. Ooh, nice catch there from Lolo. They get Zilean. This is huge, so closely to the Elder Dragon. There's a 10-second difference, 12-second difference between Zilean respawning and the Elder Dragon spawning. And
Well,
that
yeah,
could be the opening for Weepers.
I blinked, and he was dead. Didn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
I was
And
paying
Weepers
attention
stands
to...
ready to take this, and Adverse isn't there at all to defend. So they will get this Elder Dragon for free.
They will also maybe get the Baron for free, because they can set it up now, poke with the Elder Dragon buff, and you don't want to get poked with the AoE true damage, so they will also let the Baron fall to Reapers. Are they sure about that? No, they are not. They need to contest that one, because if they have both buffs,
The question is, I mean, they have to, but can they? Can they contest against the Elder Dragon? That's the question. We will have to answer that. We have the engage now. Backline is under attack on the side of Adverse. Asia is the first one to fall, so is Jax. And with that, their attempt at stopping this Baron is already over. Reapers will get the Baron. And if they find another catch here, maybe on Licky. Okay, stun doesn't hit from Syndra. Backports now on the side of Reapers. We're in a very good position right now.
Yeah, if they push out mid and bot, they're probably in a good position to end the game. Their top side is pushing, so you don't need to push that even more. They're just going to probably take the wave, because she needs to push that one back, and they just go for mid. Probably split up from there later on.
I
Depends
think
on where
as
the wave
long
is.
as they have this Elder Dragon all mid is the better take here, because Elder Dragon is just so strong in team fights, and if they were to get into another team fight with the Elder Dragon, they could simply win and end the game. Arzi Tower here to slow down the push a little bit, but Reapers, Edwards, they know they have to let this buff tick off. Cyan now with the engage, they try to go for it. Doesn't hit, unfortunately, but the Nexus towers are just falling so fast. Now we have the engage. Rima Shuffle is there, but it won't do anything good for Edwards as they are falling apart. They do get 1 or 2 kills on the side of Reapers, but this will be the game. The Nexus is falling, and Reapers takes home the win against Edwards in a very close and beautiful game, in my opinion.
Yeah, the more damage didn't pay off for Edwards here. The sign was too tanky to get killed. I think he only bought armor items because Azir wasn't ahead. He didn't find into the game, so he just needed armor, and then he could steamroll everybody, just run over. So it was pretty one-sided, I think. If Azir would come ahead instead of the Jax on the earlier stage, it would be a total different story, I think.
Yeah. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen 2 games, but that of course only means that we have 2 more games ahead of us, and we will take a quick look at the schedule so you guys know what awaits us after the next break, with Sloths against Aurora, of course, and then Dynasty versus Once Upon a Team in the last game of the day. And with that, we'll go into a short break, but before we go into the break, just a quick reminder that we are collecting donations during this live stream and the upcoming 4 live streams for ABAP. ABAP is a Turkish non-governmental charity organization that helps the earthquakes victims on site with, of course, shelter, medical supplies, and food and drink and everything that is needed to give, like, basically first responders help after the earthquake. And there are 2 ways that you can donate. You can donate via PayPal. Donations at rift.lu is the email address, or you can also just scan the QR code on the screen right now. And you can also donate directly through the website of ABAP. Unfortunately, they don't offer PayPal, so we made a PayPal just for this, and we will of course forward 100% of the money going into that PayPal directly to ABAP. With that, I will leave you to it. Go get a coffee, make your donations, and then we will see each other after the break.